Hello, English 102 students. I want to talk to you today a little bit about research and the resources that are here at GMC. We have a fabulous online library. We have subscriptions to a number of databases. And I really like how the library is set up for you to be able to access this. So I want to draw your attention to over here on the right side of our class. And of course, you see the section here called GMC Library. I'm actually going to start at the very bottom here of this small list with library guides. The librarians have put together a resource just for our class, so I want to be able to show that to you. And by the way, even after you leave English 102 and you still want to remember some of these resources, they will still be available to you, but they put these together for all kinds of classes. So let's take a look at the library guides. So they have, you can look for different ways. You can look through it for all guides, by subject or by type. So I'm going to do it by subject just here in a second. But I also want to draw your attention to this Ask the Librarian. Librarians are a group of fabulous people who love to look up information and love to help people. So take advantage of that. And you can do this by a live chat or also texting this number. So take advantage. That's what they're there for. That's what they love to do. You would be surprised things that they can help you find out. Okay, so you can see there's all different kinds of subjects. So you could use this for other classes. I know some of you are in criminal justice. There are some guides for that. If you're in computer science, art and music, you can look down and see all kinds of stuff. Military, math and science. There are writing skills, study skills. So these are all different resources that they've kind of packaged together for you so you can find it. Of course, for English 102, we want to go to the English Literature tab, and then we will find our course. And by the way, there are some other courses in here and some other information about banned books, citations. You can take a look at that. And then this is also another place that they have kind of housed these two databases for us. So you can link them here, or I'm going to you can access this a couple different ways. If you remember back to week 1, we take you step by step for that. So I want to go to the English 102 guide and show you all the great little nuggets that are here available for you specifically for this class, which is fabulous. So if you go over here to this these little drop-down menus, there's several things that I want to show you. You have some tutorials here, some research resources. So if you click on this, it pulls up a number of things for you. So here are those literary reference center, these databases again, the Literary Reference Center, the Literature Resource Center. These are both different types of portal. It's a database that holds all kinds of different scholarly articles because this is where you're going to be doing your research instead of a typical Google research. I want you to find these articles because these are written by people who are in literature, who are familiar with literature, and to add to the academic conversation. I already know that you know how to do Google research, and you'll be able to find some things, but they're not peer reviewed and they're not part of that academic conversation. So please avoid using those Google searches, especially the ones that pull up the Spark Notes, the Cliff Notes, the E-Notes. There's all kinds of things that are packaged out there. Some of them are free, some of them they want you to buy. Either way, I mean, that's more of a leisurely type of research if we want to find something quickly. But this is, while you're college students, you want to use these academic sources. Okay, so you should recognize the name Bloom. Almost everything that we use here, we have Bloom literature pieces that are written about what we're reading. So these are written, Harold Bloom was, is a literary expert, and it just kind of became synonymous with being a good source for literature. Okay. And that's why we include those pieces, each week when we read the different short stories and authors. JSTOR is another database. So these are all databases. These for here, especially these three here, that you can only access through some kind of institutional subscription. So you can't find these articles on Google. Even Google Scholar, sometimes what Google Scholar does is it leads you to that, and then you get all excited, and then you can't pull the whole thing up. So go here, because it's already part of being a part of a college, is that you have access to this. Here's another little thing I want to point out here, this Writer's Reference Center. Just all kinds of things that you can poke around and as you're trying to write, either for this class or even for other ones. There's all kinds of little things to help with that, those questions that come up with academic writing. Okay, so here are your databases. It gives you some extra information about these. There's other kinds of databases that you can find. Websites for when you need to help with your works cited page. Of course, I'm sure you've seen this one. I have it all over the course. And then here's some ebooks that give you some more information about literature. Let me just stop back by here. So here's some general databases that you can see. And I thought so there are some tutorials to help you if you need a little bit of assistance on how to do that. So check these out, these videos out, to help you with your research. Which takes us to this next part, the keyword searches. So, this one is unavailable. So this one, how you put in the search is going to either expand or limit the number of sources that you get back. So if you just put in the word Hemingway in a search bar, in a browser, or a search bar, even within one of these literature databases, he's so prolific, they're just going to come up with so many different things. You could have, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different hits or different articles written about just Hemingway, because that includes everything that he may have written. It could include other people with the last name Hemingway. He has also, famous relatives, of course. So you want to make sure that you're using the right keywords. Okay, so if you want to write about hills like elephants, then you would work that in there. If you want to find out about a theme for that, so those are the types of things that you would do. So writing a paper. Let's see if it'll pull up. So here's all kinds of information for you to help as you're going. If you get a feedback from me about you have a weak thesis statement, there's all different kinds of resources here to help you with that. Here's that Writer's Reference Center again. There's different ways about citation, plagiarism. So all of these things in here, just when you're feeling like I don't know how to write this paper, sometimes just walking away from writing and then looking at some of these resources that are available are helpful. Of course, in this course, we write MLA style. Again, all kinds of resources for you, how to set up your MLA. I know a few of you have received feedback from me about your paper is not an MLA formatting. So this is a good resource for you. It tells you how to set it up as far as the actual format and what it would look like, how to do the page number and all of that kind of stuff, which is cool. And then it has additional resources. You can go to how to do the works cited page. And look, here's a video to watch about how to set up your MLA paper. So that's awesome. If you are taking other classes here at Georgia Military College, some of those courses may ask you to write an APA style, which is a completely different way to format and also cite resources. So that resource is available to you. Okay, I wanted to show you a little bit about the annotated bibliography that we are working on for week 6. Here's a video here that you can watch that gives you a little bit more information about that. The annotated bibliography is something that when you're writing an academic essay, this is kind of part of that research process. When you're finding resources in the library and you're reading different articles, this is a way to annotate it as you're going along and be able to kind of decide, is this something that's really worthwhile? Is this the article that you thought it was? And then also, look at it from a credibility standpoint. Also, even if it's a credible resource, does it work with what you're trying to prove in your essay? It may be, written very well. I think you'll find when you start looking, if you're one of those students that's looking for Edgar Allan Poe, there's tons of things written about him, but it may not fit in with what you're trying to write about. Okay. So that's what that annotated part is. Once you're done with the week 6 annotated bibliography, you can keep that handy as you're finishing the week 7 research essay, but you can keep the entries and the information. But what'll change when you go from an annotated bibliography to a works cited page is you'll get rid of those annotations. It'll just be the actual entries without the added summary part. And then here's another video that you can watch about that. And then here are some additional help from our friends at Purdue that talk about how to prepare it and how, kind of what it'll look like here. Okay. Oh, this page doesn't exist. So it looked like a couple of those resources weren't available. So what I did is I went to the Purdue site and found that they're always one of the best places to go to find out anything about academic writing. But it has all of the information in here that you would want to know about preparing your annotated bibliography, as well as kind of the breakdown of what it looks like here. Oh, this little video keeps popping up. And then also a sample of what it looks like. Sometimes that helps, seeing a visual. So here is the entry, and then here's the information about a little bit about the summary and whether or not it would be something that would be helpful to your essay. So I will make sure that this link to this page is in here since it was not on the library site. Let's see if we can get back to them. Yeah, there we are. Okay. But go ahead and watch these videos. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out. Since we are an online camp, this is an online course, here is some information that might just help you as you're writing your paper. So that was a quick tour of that part of the library. I want to just go back real quick and show you. This again was from week 1 in the second forum. If you just go right to databases. So once you've kind of looked through those library guides, and I would spend some time this week because, in week 7 we have the large research paper that's going to be due. So you want to be thinking about that now. But for this week and for the next upcoming weeks, this helps you just drill down right to the databases. So this is A to Z. So we're going to go to L for literature or literary. And we're going to just scroll down here. Here is the Literary Reference Center, and here's the Literature Resource Center. Either one of these are good places to go. You can see there's all kinds of literary criticism, there's biographies, there's journal articles, there's book reviews, there's summaries, all kinds of stuff. There's full text of novels. If you are really enjoying the short stories of Hemingway, I encourage you to read some of his novels. Of course, he is one of if not, I don't know if everyone would come to agreement that he is the best American writer, but he's certainly one of the most prolific and one of the most well-known. So, but if you like his style of writing, I encourage you to read some of his novels. They are quite enjoyable and I think very approachable. So I would encourage you to do that. So let's just take one quick look. Okay. This is coming up a little slower than I thought it would be, but that's okay. Hang with me. So if you see, it pops up right to where you're going to put your keyword. I mean, you can do other things. You could put author or title. But most of the time, you're going to be coming in here because you're going to try and look at things in a different way. So if you want to find out what have other people, let's get our cursor in there. What have other people written about hills like elephants? Let's just shorten it. All right. So then we hit search and it starts coming up with, of course, here I believe is just, no, here's a summary and analysis. It's part of a book. So here is an analysis of this story. It's a journal article. Why does Jig smile? These are critical readings, and it focuses on Paris and Provence. So if I would have said something like up here, like Hemingway in Paris, this article may have come up because that's something that he has in there. And this is more focused on what does it have to do with Hemingway spent a lot of time in Europe, especially in Paris. So how does that tie in? So there's all kinds of things that you can really drill down in, even though it's such a short story. I mean, look, there's page after page that's been written about this. Okay, so even though it's just a tiny little story, there's already tons of things that are being written about that. So these are your secondary resources that we're looking for, because the story itself is the primary, and then these are your secondary resources, and these are peer-reviewed, and these are by people who are known to have experience writing about literature. Okay, so that's where we want to have that academic conversation. So, all right, well, that is it for today, and I hope to see you in class this week.